and he's losing it. Edwards off and running. Puts the ball down to Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now, and they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Riley Williams. Goes to the free. Touchdown.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast, and we're glad to be back, Trev. Now, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
We needed a little break, get some things sorted out. We're working out a new, new format tonight, so it's exciting to have you guys in and to talk some football. Obviously, a lot of craziness going on in the college football landscape. The college football playoff rankings just dropped tonight, so we'll talk about that. But first, we'll talk, coaching vacancies and kind of who's out there, who still might, get picked up. Some of the conference championship races, mainly the ACC, and just what a crapshoot that is. Some Heisman frontrunner talk, of course, and we'll talk about our pick'ems and our bets, Trevor, at the end of the show. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that. Trev, I mean, this end of the season is absolutely insane. The college football playoff is woven into every single part of what we're going to talk about tonight. And that's, a lot of people that didn't like expansion. I don't know. It's intense. There's a lot of teams right now that are like clinging to their seat, pucker factor 10, trying to get into this thing.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. But yeah, before we get into that, Trev, let's talk some of these coaching vacancies. LSU, we know they're still open. Penn State, Florida, they're waiting on trying to figure out what the hell Lane Kiffin's doing. And then you got Auburn just kind of hanging around like, hey, we're here, guys.
Arkansas is still around, I guess, from what I hear.
That's the rumor.
But, I mean, I know it's a vacancy, but I feel like that the interim's going to he's just going to take over. I feel like it's not really a vacancy because I feel like they're just going to end up offering. I can't think. Oh, my God. I'm brain dumping.
What on the Bobby Petrino? You think?
Yeah, Petrino. Yes, Petrino's gonna stay.
Hey,
God bless it.
It's always possible that they keep him around, but I don't know, man. I feel like somebody's gonna go for some of these high end coordinator jobs. Start looking at that, like maybe Penn State. Like you talked about with Brian Hartline.
I did think about that. I mean, look, I still think Hartline should be sought after by almost every big time job that is available as of right now, including, well, big time's a relative word here, folks, but UCLA, Stanford. I feel like the phone call should be made to Brian Hartline, especially to the West Coast schools, because of his recruiting background and the amount how well he has been able to recruit. Mm-hmm. I feel like UCLA, that is worth a phone call. I think I feel like Stanford needs to make that call, but I think Stanford has a bigger problem, and that is their just class cycle. Yeah, because that definitely directly interferes with their recruiting process. And it's been that way ever since back when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach. It has just been an issue for them because of the class schedules that they have at Stanford. Yeah. So Brian Hartline definitely should be at the top of everyone's list, including Penn State, Florida, Auburn. That's a phone call I would make in a heartbeat if I was Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
That's a phone call I would try and make immediately.
Especially, I mean, you've got teams that are already, clinching. Virginia Tech, we were off when the news was announced that, James Franklin's been announced there. We said that from the get-go. That just makes too much sense, Trevor. Yeah. Oklahoma State just filled their position with Eric Morris from North Texas. I think that's a good one.
That's a good hire. But I still think there are better coaches out there at the group of 5 level, including, I know he's young, but JMU's head coach. I really think he's going to get a shot somewhere.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what, these younger guys are going to, who's going to come calling, because there's plenty of openings to do it. And then you're seeing teams like Florida State holding on to the Norvell another year. You're seeing Wisconsin hold on to Fickle because I just think they're like, hey, there's too much out there. Like, let's see what happens next season.
Yeah, I guess Florida State's okay with being third to last in the ACC, and it's perfect. At least they're not last, right?
Yeah, I mean,
not last.
It could always be worse, right? Jesus.
Well, I mean, not by much,
but it was, and now it's a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to shake out here. I think really the big ones, the linchpin is Lane Kiffin. When you look at LSU and Florida, supposedly a decision is supposed to be made, this weekend after the Egg Bowl, and we'll see what happens there. But I think he's just stringing everybody along, and it makes it harder for everybody to recruit, to start working on portal additions, the tampering that goes on behind the lines.
Yeah, and my point of view on Lane Kiffin is Ole Miss should shut the hell up, honestly. Don't be giving him ultimatums, because he's just gonna be like deuces.
Yeah,
he'll just be like straight deuces and zero F's given. Just let him make a decision on his own time and counter. I would counter if I was Ole Miss. I would just be like, here's $100 million.
Yeah, just throw bags, man. I mean, the money that LSU supposedly put out was insane.
Mm-hmm. And last I heard that they put out, the first initial report was $90 million as a contract offer, plus another $25 million in NIL money.
Yeah.
Plus, and then someone, I forget where I read it, but I feel like they upped that offer. But I'm not exactly sure if there's a timeline.
$95 million. I can't remember offhand, but it's a lot of freaking money. And we'll see what happens, Trev, when it comes to it. But, things are going to start shaking out. We got comment coming over here. I got my little tab was closed. Yeah, Fickle. I mean, he did. He's kind of got things turned around there at the end. Somebody might come in and steal him. I don't know. I think they're just going to let Wisconsin have that for now.
They might just Wisconsin, it's all you. You got this.
All right, Travis. Let's move on and talk about these wins and losses. The college football top 25, came out. And when we're talking about wins and losses, it looks like the committee is really weighing heavy on bad losses. And I get it. I value bad losses myself. But when paired with a good win, I feel like they kind of wash. And say for Alabama, that's always a topic, that comes up. Well, they've got, 3 great wins. They do, but they still have one really bad loss. And that I'd say that negates, or maybe evens out with one of the really good wins. They still have 2 good, good wins outside of that. So that's what I do. I look at, okay, how bad is the team that you've lost to? Have they continued to get worse? I know things happen, at the moment, but still you have to judge the resume, in my opinion. Great wins, way heavy. Bad losses, way heavy. And if you're kind of dealing in that same area, like with Miami and Notre Dame, Trevor, I have Notre Dame a little bit higher than Miami. Miami is kind of started to come back on a little bit, and they had that rough patch in the middle, but they lost to, Virginia. They lost to, SMU. Notre Dame's losses are still to, Miami, and then the number 3 team in the country. So and they're a very tight margin. So I just kind of weigh things like that and just balance it. And it seems like the committee's doing that too, even more so on the bad losses. What do you look at that at all, Trev, or you just go straight off wins?
I do weigh wins and losses. However, I think the teams that took a risk at the beginning of the season,
right,
and actually played real competition should benefit from that particular thing.
Yeah.
That particular scheduling, I guess you could say risk, where I just don't see the committee actually rewarding any of the teams that truly scheduled hard competition at the beginning of the season. For example, this is just me saying this, is that Miami, for example.
Yeah.
I don't think that they are getting the benefit of the doubt because they've had some tough losses, close losses, but tough losses to Louisville and SMU. But they beat Notre Dame, who is ranked ahead of them at the beginning of the season. They beat USF, who at the time was playing pretty decent, and since then has gotten themselves at the 18th spot. Florida, which obviously now, but at the time, I mean, Florida's no joke. I mean, you schedule a non-conference game and it's Florida of all teams.
Yeah.
I know it's always on the schedule. I get it. It's Miami and Florida, but they have one of the, I feel like they probably could be considered one of the tougher, not toughest, but I feel like they're not getting the credit they're due for scheduling Notre Dame right out the gate on late August.
Sure.
And now Notre Dame's ranked ahead of them. And I know Notre Dame's benefiting from their schedule a bit. Yeah. But I still don't think that they should be ranked ahead. I still don't. I know Blake's high on them. I know a lot of people are high on Notre Dame.
Yeah.
However, I still do not think that they are as good as people say they are. And I think that they will get took so badly, depending on the matchup they get in the playoff, by almost any Big Ten or SEC team.
See, that's where I don't know. I think they still look good. I know they had,
looking good and actually playing good. I feel like they are not playing. They don't finish well. Notre Dame has not finished well all season.
There was a stretch there that they had some struggle wins, but I mean, they did just beat the hell out of Syracuse 70.
Well, hold on, folks. Let's not pretend that Syracuse is the team of last year or the year before.
I know they're down a quarterback too. I get it.
They're down half the team, folks. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's where I weigh losses a little bit more, because I look at the losses that Miami has, and they're not comparable to the losses that Notre Dame has.
Right.
And, Miami did beat them head to head. They're tight, they're close, and I don't know.
Another little point, and I guess this is where how old I am really is about to show. I go off of it as when you lost.
Yeah.
As well. So I think when you lost should matter. Just like back in the BCS days. You lose the last game of the season, you should take a hit, a real big hit.
I know you're heavy on those when we do our rankings. You slap them.
You should take a big hit if you're losing in the second half of the season. You should have already had it dialed in by now.
Yeah.
If there's no major change, if you have to make a change at quarterback or make a change at your primary running back spot, or replace 3 or 4 offensive linemen, I get it. Or vice versa on the defensive side of the ball. You're have to rotate in a bunch of young, inexperienced guys. I get all of those scenarios. However, if no of those major changes really are happening and you're in the second half of the season and you're dropping games, I'm sorry, you're going to be dropping ranking real quick.
Yeah, no love there. And
no love for me there, honestly.
When you look at the rankings right now, the top 25, you've got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech. That seems, but then that's when you start getting these shuffle. Oregon, Ole Miss, they shuffle weekly. It seems. Oklahoma is up at number 8, above Notre Dame, which is at 9. Bama's at 10, and then I feel bad for BYU. They just keep slipping. They're at a number 11. And I know they don't have like a marquee schedule. They do have a good win against Utah. They lost, they did get beat up pretty bad by Texas Tech. But I mean, they're only one loss team. They're behind a bunch of 2 losses, and they're kind of on that outside looking in unless they can win the Big 12 championship. And maybe, Trevor, that's a good segue into these championship races.
Yeah, and then we might as well just talk about right at the gate, and we're going to talk about the ACC shit show. That is the ACC shit show.
It's the epitome of a shit show, guys. Trevor, so you got Pittsburgh, SMU.
So at the beginning, hold on. We're just going to talk about this. We got to break this down. So those of you that haven't been paying attention, at the beginning of the season, we had Miami and Clemson as the favorites. Anybody want to take a guess at where they are right now? Well, Miami is 6th place and Clemson is 8th.
Yeah.
So eat them apples. So the top 4 positions as it stands right this moment, we have a 3-way tie for first place with Virginia, SMU, and Pitt. So 1 out of the 2 for the ACC championship. I'm still in it. In it. Then we have Georgia Tech right behind them with a better overall record than SMU and Pitt. but that they have same overall record as Virginia. Then we have Duke, which has a crap overall record, but they're 5-2 in the ACC. And then they're also, they're right alongside Miami, who's ranked, and Duke really whatever. Anyway.
Duke has a chance, man. And this is where
it's an outside chance. This is where it gets all muddled and crazy madness.
The tiebreakers. And that's one thing about these super conferences without divisions. It's such a just insane. Even going online, I'm not going to read them to you because I don't even want to read them out loud. But all these tiebreaker scenarios is insane. There's 12 bullet points on tiebreakers because there's so many teams in these conferences. But Trevor, when you look at, a path for, say, Duke, who's sitting at 5-5 total, but 4-2 in the ACC, their path to the game, they've got to beat Wake Forest, and you got to have Pitt lose or SMU lose. I mean, they're right out.
To be perfectly honest, if Duke wants to be in, they have to pray that Virginia Tech pulls one out of their butt and they beat Virginia. Yeah. SMU loses, and then, believe it or not, they're going to be rooting for Miami to beat Pitt.
Because when I'm reading these, it's saying they need Pitt to win against Miami. And I don't know. That's why
it doesn't make sense to me because Georgia Tech. Well, I mean, Georgia Tech's solidified because their last game they have to play Georgia, so their conference record is solidified.
Yeah. So looking at Georgia Tech, so I pulled this up. This is from Sports Illustrated. So I mean,
I guess that would put Miami in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so Georgia Tech's path currently to the ACC title game is Virginia needs to lose to Virginia Tech and SMU has to lose to California. I mean, both possibilities, I guess. I don't.
Well, sure. Why not? We'll live in a dream world where California beats SMU.
Hey, listen, Cal's, they're not what we ever wanted them to be. I hate you, Cal.
I am never picking y'all again. Swear. I spent 2 years trying to talk you guys up, and I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm done with them too. So Georgia Tech, you have an outside chance getting in. Duke, outside chance as well. That you got to beat Wake Forest, which has been pretty solid. So I mean, there's these opportunities, but really, when you look at it, Miami is on the outside looking in. They need some stuff to happen.
I mean, now that we're talking about it, I feel like the general path. I'm sorry, Duke, you're probably out of it, to be honest with you. Because if you're wanting Pitt to beat Miami, great, but then it's a Pitt Georgia Tech championship.
Yeah, I mean, listen to this path.
I'm thinking about this correctly, right? I feel like
so check this path out, and this is broken down. They've got for Miami, they have to beat Pitt, which has been playing pretty solid football. They need Duke to lose to Wake Forest or Virginia Tech to beat Virginia. So Miami's on the outside looking in. They need a lot of shit to happen in front of them, even though they're sitting at the 12th spot in the college football committee.
That's only because of their overall record, which is 9-2. They're not even basing that off of their conference. It's their overall record that is getting them there.
Yeah. So I mean, they're. Unless this might be, maybe it's an old one, I don't know. But there's room here for craziness to go down, Trevor. And who do you think's going to go? I mean, who do you think makes it in?
I'm going to stick with my initial pick, where I still think Pitt will pull it off against Miami, and I think that probably it'll be Pitt and Georgia Tech.
I mean it's possible, and that you said.
I mean, it's kind of a snooze fest of an ACC championship, but compared to what we thought we might get, where sorry, Florida State, but I'm going to shit on you because I thought you played one hell of a game. That's just one for the whole season. You played one hell of a game, and then the rest of the season was, I mean, you all went, you beat Alabama, and then you proceeded to go 2-8.
I don't know. I feel bad for him to a point.
I feel none. I don't feel bad for them at all.
No love lost.
Because they love to talk shit until they can't talk shit.
They are heavy shit talkers. There's no doubt. Huge. Trev, when I look at this, I don't know. It's a tough scenario. Miami needs some help. And this is where the college football playoff rankings, you could see, the 11th and the 12th slots getting bumped out because you're still going to have the group of 5 champion, which I know it's not a group of 5 slot for any group of 5 fan watching. It is the 5 highest ranked conference champions. That could be the Sun Belt and the fucking American, getting,
and they can put them wherever they want as long as they're in. That you get all 5, you get all of them in, right? They can put them wherever they want, right?
Yeah, so they're not going to get the buys, right?
They won't get the buys, but they'll be in. They'll just
so if you're ranked 20th and you win the ACC, you're going to get the 11th slot. If JMU wins the group of 5 championship and they get the 12th slot. So whoever's sitting at, say, BYU stays at 11, and somebody, whoever, Miami's sitting at 12, they might get bumped for the 2 conference champions that are sitting back at 20 and 21. So this is going to be a crazy scenario. There's a ton of 2-loss teams. Even when you look at the Big 12, Trev, some of these, I mean, Arizona State, they've got an outside chance. They need Texas Tech or BYU to drop. I mean, BYU's got they just need to win.
Okay, fun scenario, real quick.
Yeah.
So if Michigan beats Ohio State,
yes.
Texas beats Texas A&M, Georgia loses to Georgia Tech.
Oof.
What does that do to our playoff?
Well, I know.
So they're not going to kick Ohio State out of the playoff for losing to Michigan. They just won't.
No,
because they'll still have the conference championship game. They'll more than likely beat Indiana, but Indiana's looked really good. So it might be at one hell of a game against Ohio. Because look, at the end of the day, let's not anybody kid themselves. Obviously, you see what I'm wearing. You know who I'm going with. But at the end of the day, Ohio State, Indiana, you already locked yourselves in. You're already locked into the playoff.
Yeah,
or the conference championship at minimum. More than likely the playoff as well.
Yeah, I mean,
same with Texas A&M. I mean, well, if you lose to Texas, I don't know. We'll see.
So
we'll see how far you drop.
Sarkisian's already been out there, talking about, well, what if Texas does win? We deserve to be in the playoffs, buddy. You lost to Florida and their ass. Okay, I'm sorry.
But I mean, they could, in theory, Texas they could sneak them in at 12.
They could. I mean, listen.
And I mean, honestly, it's kind of a good segue that we're talking about who can sneak in and all that stuff like that, because we're going to talk right now a little bit about the last teams in. Yeah, that's right. 10, 11, 12.
And that's where, we were mentioning, earlier, these unranked or these lower ranked teams or maybe unranked teams like Pitt. If Pitt wins, the ACC, they're going to get in the playoffs. And they're going to bump somebody that's sitting, say, Miami or Alabama if they don't want to go to the SEC championship game.
So here's my one little caveat. I just mentioned the Michigan-Ohio State game, the game.
Yeah.
So in the event that Michigan somehow miraculously pulls off another ridiculous upset of Ohio State like they did last year, I would say they're in, Brendan.
Yeah, and
I think they find themselves sneaking in if they beat the number 1 team in the country, and largely by most people's standards have been the best team this year.
Yes,
they have been left no doubt on anybody's mind on who they are.
I think it'll be hard to leave the brand of Michigan out. I do think they look at that to a point, but there's these scenarios too where I just want to bring them up for the Big Ten. It seems like Ohio State and Indiana are on a collision course.
Yep.
True, but again, what if? Okay, you have a Indiana versus Oregon Big Ten championship game. If Indiana beats Purdue and Michigan beats Ohio State, that would be the Big Ten championship game.
That'd be phenomenal if they missed the championship game. Yeah. Oh my God! I forgot if they win that. Oregon would be in. Oh,
yeah. So there's still a couple of teams. Please, there's Lord. 5 scenarios for the Big Ten currently. Indiana versus Michigan in the Big Ten championship. You need Indiana to beat Purdue, Michigan beating Ohio State, and Washington defeating Oregon. That's scenario 3. Scenario 4 is again back to Ohio State, Indiana. That's just some convoluted.
If they do win, it does mean something. It means that Ohio State ain't in the championship game.
Now, listen to this last one for the Big Ten. Oregon versus Michigan for the Big Ten championship.
How does that work? I want to hear that.
If Purdue finds a miracle and beats Indiana, Michigan beats Ohio State, and then Oregon beats Washington, the tiebreakers would knock teams out, and you would have Oregon versus Michigan. This is from the Big Ten's website. So can you imagine?
Yes.
The chaos.
Actually, I have a very vivid imagination.
The chaos. Yeah, could you imagine this one right here from our friend, Anthony? If Ohio State loses to Michigan and then loses to Indiana in the Big Ten championship, what do you do? Does Ohio State? I don't think they would drop them out, but I mean, because it's a Big Ten, it's an extra data point. I don't think they would hammer them too hard unless Indiana just goes out and fucking annihilates them. Like I think it was Ohio State versus Wisconsin at the start of the college football playoff era when Ohio State, I'm sorry to bring up this old win, destroyed Wisconsin and jumped TCU to get into the playoffs. So, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see it. Some other teams, guys, though, that these last teams that could get in, you're looking at Vandy that's sitting there on the outside. They have to go out and have a dominant performance against Tennessee to get some extra respect. Oklahoma, that you can't let LSU's.
I think that's for Vandy. I think that's a must win though.
I'm sorry, I had to, man. For Oklahoma, it's a must win versus LSU. You cannot let LSU beat you. Otherwise you're done. So
here's a question here, Brennan. Wouldn't Indiana still be in if they lost? They would have the head-to-head over Oregon. Yeah,
so this is where unless the Big Ten website's wrong or whatever, they've got it jacked up. It says the tiebreaker one would be, the head-to-head wins, which is there, but then Ohio State and Michigan are 2-0 versus common opponents. Indiana would be, 1-1, Purdue and Wisconsin. So if they lose to Purdue, then you would have those tiebreakers come into effect in that Michigan versus Oregon scenario. If that happens, you got common opponents, stuff like that. There's a lot of.
First of all, let's just be clear. I do not expect Indiana to lose to Purdue.
No,
let's just be clear about this really quick.
Oh my gosh!
If it happened and Purdue somehow pulled the rabbit out of their butt,
you know what? I don't even want to think about that because that would make my head hurt if that happens. How far back would Indiana drop?
I think they would be. That's an unranked Purdue team beating them. They'd be dropped out of the top 12.
They'd be back behind BYU.
100%.
They do have a good win. 100%. They have a better win over Oregon.
But they have the worst loss in the top 12. They would have the worst loss in the top 12.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yes, so they need to blow them out.
Alabama has a close second of the worst loss, but
that's rough. Sorry, I had to do it. We had to do it to them. But as for the last teams in, you're looking at Miami, BYU, Utah, Vandy, Michigan, maybe Texas on the outside. If absolute insanity happens in front of them,
anyone with 3 losses, just count yourself out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I mean Tennessee, you might be able to squeeze in if you beat Vandy. There's a very, very outside chance of that possibly happening, but I still think that if Vandy beats Tennessee, it's a better look for Vandy than it would be the other way around.
Yeah, and in Texas, they don't have a chance to get into the SEC championship game. I'm double checking, but no, they don't.
I don't think so. No, it would just be this game. I mean, they are probably the only 3-loss team that would be able to get in the playoff just because their last opponent is the number 3 team in the nation.
Yeah, again, you would need chaos to happen. Yeah. BYU going down, you need Utah to lose. Miami, you need them to lose. You just need chaos. I don't know if it's going to happen. But Utah, they're sitting there like, hey, we're playing good football right now. We've got a tight loss to BYU, but they're on the outside looking in. They need help. Vandy, again, they've got to go out and have a dominant performance against Tennessee.
Being at 13 gives them an added benefit, I feel like. As long as they win in convincing fashion with their game this week, I think all they can do, if you win, that's all you can do is give yourself the best chance by winning. For real.
Yeah, I agree.
What did he say? You took that down. I didn't even see it.
No, my bad. I double clicked it. The worst loss besides Bama to FSU, like you mentioned, he said you beat me to it. You had to bring it up. I mean, Vandy, they might get in with a win, and they're sitting on the outside. Again, they just need chaos. And could the SEC get the 5 teams in? I mean,
man.
Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Bama. Yeah, I mean those are
Vandy, maybe Texas. So here's the thing: if Texas beats Texas A&M, then no. If Texas A&M holds serve and Vandy holds serve with Tennessee, then that's very much possible.
Yeah,
is what I would say to that. I think that. Well, I mean, there's outside. I mean, we're not even talking about Alabama and Auburn. There's a possibility Alabama drops the ball.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the games here shortly, guys. Yeah. But there's just so many scenarios right now. It's crazy. So convoluted.
It's so crazy.
The ACC, though, again, crazy situation what that could unfold. And again, that's where you could see the 10th ranked, 11th ranked teams getting knocked out. I mean, for guys that are sitting in the back, the conference champions of possibly it would be the ACC and then the group of 5, top ranked group of 5. Trev, let's jump on, move down the line here.
Yep. Let's talk about.
Yeah, we got Heisman, right?
Yep. Who is on the short list for Heisman, folks?
This has been a pretty heated conversation on Twitter. Especially the battle between Mendoza and Sayin. Sayin's quietly, he's just tearing through their opponents. He's passing great. I think it's almost at 80%, passing completion percentage, excuse me. Mendoza's, he's had really good games. His stats are great, but he's got that Heisman moment where he went down the line in convincing fashion against Penn State, throwing just darts and driving the entire length of the field to win the game. And even though I know he set it up because he had that interception, some say it was an egregious pick. I think it was a pretty damn good play on the defense myself, but still, they're saying Sayin doesn't have the Heisman moment. Well, that could come against Michigan, but still, that to me that doesn't matter. I mean, the dude is playing fantastic.
He is playing fantastic. He's making the right decisions.
He hasn't had to be.
That being said, I honestly do not think that he's actually been stressed once this season.
That's fair, and that's the counter argument to him is he's never been in that position, but he hasn't had to be. One, he's got a good team around him, but two, he's playing so well and being accurate.
I would say that. I mean, look, this is not tooting their horn or nothing, but they're probably. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be the best defense he's played all season up to this point. Just because I just don't think there's a better defense that was on their schedule. And I know people are going to say, well, Penn State. I was like, nope.
Especially at the time, they nope. It's no. When I look at right now, these are mine that I.
This is what Road Dogg had to say. He has Love, Sayin, Mendoza, and Reed on the short list. Yeah. I don't hate that list. I don't hate it.
People are not talking about Marcel Reed at all. And I mentioned it in a group chat, with some of our friends. And I think that game against South Carolina where it was rough early, people started turning away from him. And this is, yes, I agree. Yes. I'm going to mention him.
He needs to be on the short list. He's having a hell of a year.
I think Reed has to have a huge game against Texas to really throw his hat in the ring. When you've got, in my mind, Mendoza, Sayin, Jeremiah Love, Jacob Rodriguez, he is having a fantastic season. And I agree the win in South Bend was strong. I do agree with that. But for voters and people have short-term memory. They don't remember big games, in the early season, unfortunately. So it's not necessarily my opinion, just the way kind of I think people are seeing him.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Heisman voting ends after the conference championship?
Yep, but I guarantee you people are going to start throwing them in.
This is what I'll say. This is what my short list is. Sayin is out. Jeremiah Smith is in.
Really?
I believe that is what's going to end up happening, in my opinion. Otherwise, if that happens, if Jeremiah Smith is not on the short list of Heisman, what this award has turned into is a quarterback award. Period. End of story.
Yeah, unfortunately,
because Jeremiah Love, as much as I like him as a running back, he is not a Heisman contender in my opinion.
Really?
I don't think that he is not the sole reason they are at the record they're at. CJ Carr has more of a claim to being the most valuable player, the more Heisman candidate, if you will, in my opinion. But Marcel Reed, Fernando, I want to say Freddie Mendoza. I'm going to start calling it that, Freddie Mendoza.
No.
Diego Pavia, which is crap because betting odds have Diego Pavia as a top four Heisman pick. I hate it.
Still, I didn't see that. Man.
Yep. According to, and I'm not trying to plug them, so just whatever. But according to DraftKings Sportsbooks, they have him at a plus 550, which is just 50 points south of Julian Sand as a favorite. It basically goes this is Mendoza is at 115 favorite. Jeremiah Love in second place at plus 315. Julian Sand at plus 500. And Diego Pavia at 550.
Wow.
That's the top four on the betting odds. Everybody else, and frankly, okay, so you guys are going to think I'm joking, but I'm not. I really think Trinidad Chambliss needs to be in it.
That dude, he's had a really quiet, great season for a young guy, too.
For a first-year starter and not really even started the season as a starter.
Yeah.
But clearly is the better quarterback on the roster.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just too short of a season, too short of a workload for him to be considered, I think. But
no, I don't know the betting. The betting odds are strange to me. I've got Mendoza saying Jeremiah Love. I know they've got good players across Notre Dame, but he's just such a talented back to me. Mm-hmm. And Ty Simpson, I think, is still going to be up there, especially if he goes out and blasts Auburn. And then Rodriguez, you got to have him in my opinion.
I think I'm of the mindset where I think Jeremiah Smith should have already been in the top four. But he's having a quiet season because he's sharing the load with his counterpart.
Yeah.
He's not I don't know. I just like him as a player overall. He's not one of those cocky dudes. He's not a big talker. He just kind of quietly just goes about his business,
and just hammers
and dominates every corner, and more often than not, two corners or a corner and a safety, and still gets the ball and just high points it and just destroys everyone in front of him, which he makes me ridiculously nervous for this weekend, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's this Michigan game for either, Sane or, Smith is going to be massive for them to have those statement moments, Trevor.
But I think they've officially have probably turned this into a quarterback award.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of that way. We've had some defenders get into the Heisman conversation. Mm-hmm. Hutch got in there. We mentioned Manti Te'o is in there, Colton. And that's what Rodriguez, he's having a fantastic season. He's even got a rushing touchdown. They threw him in there to try and beef his stats up.
Yeah, they sure did. They need to keep doing that, though, if they want him to get the Heisman vote. But
yeah, he needs to be invited.
I'm trying to remember. Who's the last one? Was it Charles Woodson? No.
Well, Chuck he's the only one that the defender to win the Heisman or the last. But the last one to be invited, I can't remember the last couple of years, but I know Hutchinson did, and
that has to be the most recent defender. But anyway,
let's move on, Trev. And again, drop your Heisman favorite in the comments. Who would you give?
Who wins it? Who wins it before the championship? I want to know who you guys think wins it.
If you submit your ballot for Heisman or any award finalists before the conference championship games, I almost think you should have your voting rights stripped. You wait to see all the data points, before you vote. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our pick'em games, Trevor. What the folks have been waiting for. First up, we mentioned it: Texas A&M and Texas. They haven't said it, but Texas A&M, they're going on the road to play Texas. Huge rivalry game, huge matchup. We talked about all the scenarios. Trevor, who are you taking here? Texas A&M, obviously they're running it, but Texas, they've kind of got a shot. What do you think? You're going hook them.
Hook them horns, baby.
Why?
Hook them horns.
You trust Arch Manning and crew?
Absolutely fucking not. I just don't want to see Texas A&M do anything good.
So it's a hate pick.
It's kind of a hate pick, but honestly, though, I think that Marcel Reed's going to have a little bit of a problem with Texas A&M speed on defense because whatever you feel about Texas, their defense is capable of controlling Texas A&M's offense.
Yeah. I mean,
they're one of the few, in my opinion, that they are still a talented defense. There, very, very few changes have been made on that defense from last year's defense, just so everyone's aware. They've just been on the field 10 times more often than they were last season. So if we can get extended drives, I truly believe their defense can slow them down.
I simply don't trust Texas to do it. The 2 times that I've changed my mind and was like, oh yeah, Texas is gonna, or the one time was against Georgia and then they got blown out.
Yeah, don't change your mind so I can win.
No, listen. The over under right now is currently 2.5 points in favor of Texas A&M. Marcel Reed is going to have a huge game against a strong defense, like you mentioned. But I just don't trust Texas offensively against one of the better defenses in Texas A&M, and that's where I think you could see a tight battle early, but then after halftime, Texas A&M pulls out. So I'm going TMU on this one.
All right, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
And Blake is not on clearly tonight. I guess for anybody watching, you can see that. And if you're listening to the podcast, wondering where the hell is he? Well, he's not on. But he's going to shoot us his picks, and then we do have his gridlocks and all that stuff. So we'll look at that here in a little bit. Trev, next game, UGA, Georgia Tech. Early on in the season, I really thought Georgia Tech would have a chance here. But of late, their defense has just been playing so sloppy, giving up way too many points. They gave up 42 to Pitt, 34 to Boston College, they lost to NC State. I just don't know, man. I think this team they're dangerous on offense, being Georgia Tech, but I think Georgia's defense is just going to be too strong. If they get in some sort of shootout, I mean, you could see a scenario like last year, maybe. I just don't feel it, guys. I'm going Georgia here. I think Stockton's playing really well lately. Even against a good Texas defense, they move the ball well. So I'm going to go Georgia in this one, Trev. You not feeling it? You taking Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I kind of am.
Okay,
I kind of am. And the only reason I really am is that they are the home team. All right, unless are they doing neutral site again?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's so stupid.
I hate that they do that. They need to stop that now. I didn't even think about that. But anyway, I'm still picking Georgia Tech. I still have some faith in Haynes King to get the job done, and I pray on everything holy that it's not like an 18 overtime game.
I mean, I don't think Georgia Tech fans could handle that if it happened again. The spread is currently 13.5 points in favor of Georgia. So Haynes King is going to have to, I mean, like he does every game, is put his body on the line. The dude is he's an Iron Man. I love him as a quarterback. All right, next up, Ole Miss, Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. Mississippi State, they had a moment early where they were contending with teams like Tennessee, and but right now they've just kind of fallen off. Depth is part of it, and then just who they're playing. They took a tough loss to Florida, a tough overtime loss to Texas. They did beat Arkansas, but I mean Arkansas is one of those teams, they'll give you a damn game. But then after that, they've been blown out by UGA and Missouri. So I'm taking Ole Miss here. I think even with the rumors with Lane Kiffin, Trevor, I think their nose is where it needs to be.
Yeah, the rumors with Lane Kiffin could affect it, but hopefully he's tried to squash whatever the rumors were and try and focus his team up. But Lane Kiffin teams are notorious for just laying a flipping egg.
You're not wrong.
Laying a flipping egg. That being said, I'm still going with the Rebels. So
could you imagine? Too much pressure. Lane is out, flirting around. At least that's what it seems like. And they are prone to these late season losses to bad teams.
I would just classify Lane as listening. He's just listening and seeing what people want to come at him at. I still think Penn State should just throw the bag at him and see if they could pull him up north.
that rumor's been floating around too, is Penn State getting Lane and coming out of the woodworks and getting them. So we'll see. So you picked Ole Miss on that one, right?
Yeah.
Double checking. All right.
Yep.
Next up, we got Miami, Pitt. This is a huge game for the ACC race.
That's so big.
That we mentioned.
It's so crazy.
Trev broke it down for us. Pitt, you've got to win this game in Miami. If you win, you've got to blow them out. Like if you need to jump Notre Dame, this is your chance. You have got to eviscerate this team. Yep. And right now, Miami is 6.5-point favorites.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair that they are the favorites. But.
Yeah, I mean, so Miami's gone on the road. They are favored. They've got veteran players. The defense has kind of been starting to step up again after that middle segment where you're like, what the hell's going on with this team? Carson Beck cannot have mistakes. I'm going Miami here. I think it is going to be tight. I could see, Pitt covering on this one and maybe being a field goal game. But, I mean, when Pitt played Notre Dame, they kind of got handled. But then they went out and beat Georgia Tech. So you don't know what you're going to get with Pitt. This is a danger game for Miami. Carson Beck, God help you. So, but I'm going Miami in a tight one.
Okay. I don't really know how else to say this, but I'm going with Pitt.
Yeah, I respect. You picked them in the preseason.
I'm just rolling with the Panthers until the brakes fall off or the wheels fall off of this.
Regardless of changes, they have been rolling. They've been figuring things out and just rolling with the punches. So I respect the pick. I mean, they're going to have a great game from their defense if they want to win this one. And again, maybe Carson Beck throws some interceptions. All right, Vandy versus Tennessee. This is another big match. There's so many big matches this weekend, guys, for playoff implications, conference championship implications. Yeah, I know people hate the expanded playoff, and I wanted 8. I wanted 8 is where I was at, but regardless, 12 is where we're at, and there's so many teams that are vying for these positions. I think it's fun. You can feel the pressure. And Vandy, that pressure is on them heavy. It's a rivalry game. They're on the road, playoff spot on the line. Holy shit. Pavia, you better have the greatest game of your life. And I just don't know if he's going to do it. I don't know. Vandy is currently 3.5-point dogs on the road.
But that's basically an even split, right? Because he's on the road, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like a half-point underdog.
I'm looking. I had to pull this up real quick. Trevor's picking guide 101. Which team is the massive underdog? Hey,
you got it, my dog. You got it.
Trevor's swinging for the fences here, man.
I have to. I gotta make up some ground.
It's rivalry week, man. Anything can happen.
That's right.
Chalk.
Swinging for the fences.
It's hard to do, and I like Aguilar at quarterback. I think he's playing well.
He is.
The running game is solid for Tennessee. The defense in this one concerns me a bit. I mean, like they got beaten by Oklahoma, and then they played 2 nobodies effectively, New Mexico State and Florida, who has just gone to hell. So if Tennessee can't stop this running game and this option attack that Vandy's whipping out, I think you could see a really tight battle where Tennessee's airing it out and Vandy's running all over them, and it comes down to the last second.
Right.
I'm gonna go Tennessee in a freaking frog's hair.
Well, this is going to be an interesting week because as of right now, me and Brendan are opposites. I'm going to go. I'm going Vandy. This is going to be an interesting week. Either I'm an offer or this is going to be a really, really interesting week.
The only one that we've agreed on is Ole Miss.
That's right. You're right. Ole Miss is the only one, but that was an obvious one.
But that might be the kiss of death. They're screwed. Mississippi State, you're welcome. You just
you're done. Ole Miss, you done.
Free win,
cooked.
Baby.
You're friggin' cooked.
Let's move on, Trev. LSU, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm going Oklahoma. I think this is going to be an ugly game. I could see the under, being taken on your point total for you bettors out there. Yeah. The under's sitting at 36.5.
Yeah.
My dumb ass bet the over last week with Oklahoma and in Missouri, and it was at 41 or 42. I was like, that'd be like a 24, 21 type game, 20 or 27, 21 type game to get the over. No, they couldn't figure it out. The offenses are struggling. Oklahoma's got a strong defense. I'm taking OU. It's going to be ugly. You going LSU? Are you doing it? Oh my gosh. Oh,
just so you know, I have them flipping circled.
I believe you. I know you're not doing this.
I circled them last night as I was writing them down.
You were standing on business, my friend. This is what it is. So
I swear to God, if you pick Washington, I'm going to lose it.
I'll tell you when we get there. Let me get a little of this Maker's Mark down my throat here. Oh my God. So LSU, you're going with the Brian Kelly-less team to pull the upset. Oklahoma's looking ahead.
Addition by subtraction, baby. Addition by subtraction.
That might be one of the fairest points I've ever heard. Yeah. Oh, he's the one that is not hired yet. We never even talked about him.
We didn't get really talk. I mean, we didn't even talk about Chip Kelly being fired as an OC at Raiders either, being available.
There's too much shit going on, and being off 2 weeks. We'll get to some of those later. All right, let's move on. Talk about the Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn, and I think Alabama fans are feeling it. They're on that cusp of the playoff line. It's on the road at Jordan Hare. I can't say it. It's Jordan Hare. God, hey, listen. The only reason they call it that is because they're in deep Alabama, and that's just how they speak. But it's Jordan Hare. They're playing there on the road, and that rhymed. Alabama is 6.5-point favorites on the road. Ty Simpson,
rightfully so.
This is the chance for him to get one of those Heisman moments. He's got to have a big game. The rushing attack is the thing that bothers me the most for Alabama. Jam Miller's been struggling. Hill's a solid back. They've got good guys behind them. Can they get them going? Right. That's my biggest question. And I'm going to go with Bama on the road. I know there's the bad juju and shit going on at Auburn. And I sort of got, are you taking Auburn? Okay. Oh, all right.
I did take Auburn.
You know what? I hope.
I'm just. You know what? Last week, last real week of the season, I'm going for it, buddy.
I hope that you win every game this week, Trevor. Truly, I really do.
I am welcoming the chaos.
I want the chaos.
I'm chaos all the time.
Auburn's walking out new quarterback. I'm surprised they're not playing the freshman. His name escapes me at the moment, but he had a really solid performance. I know it was Mercer, but he came in and looked good. He's fast. But I mean, it is against Bama, and you got to have some sort of hope here, I guess. But I will say for Auburn, they have a strong defense.
They have a strong defense. They have a stud just like Bernard on Alabama. They got Coleman on their side. And if they can get him the ball, he is a difference maker at the wideout position.
Yes, he is. I mean, this guy is an absolute baller. So I mean, if the defense can just maybe force some mistakes and you can just try to grind out the clock, get some run game going on Alabama, you might be able to pull off the victory. And again, use that late night craziness. All right, let's move on. Talk about Oregon and Washington, Trev. This one is where I think you and I maybe will be.
We're going to agree on this one. I'm pretty sure.
Oregon is currently 6.5-point favorites. They did open at 7.5, so the line has dropped. Dante Moore is playing. He's playing good football. Damon Williams, he's a talented guy, and they've got a solid offense. The problem for me, though, with Washington has been when they've played the best defenses, they've struggled. When they played Michigan, they only put up 7. When they played Ohio State, it's the same story. Oregon has a solid defense. They have given up some points to good offenses, but I just think Oregon's going to be too much, man. And I'm going Oregon here.
I don't got anything really to say other than that. Oregon's just more powerful all the way across the board.
Yeah,
like I said at the beginning of the season with Washington, it's like I think they're going to be a solid team, which they are. They're a pretty solid team. But they are about a year or two away from truly contending.
Yeah.
And Jed Fish getting most of his guys. I think next year it's a possibility that they make a push, but I think the following is the year that we can really see if Washington and Jed Fish can get this thing rolling.
If he stays. I mean, there's rumors of Jed Fish to UCLA, which I think would be horrible.
A horrible decision on his part. Washington is all about their football, and they're ready to go. UCLA, it's hard to tell what they're all about.
You can't even pack your stadium if you're UCLA. It's a shame. Washington, they've got rabid fan base. They want to win. They got a taste, in 23.
Yep.
Got gunned down, but still.
If you were to move anywhere, in my opinion, Jedd Fisch needs to move back to the East Coast somewhere. Yeah. Like, I think he would be an awesome fit for friggin' Penn State. My God, he would be. That would make Penn State scary.
But Oregon for both of us on this one. All right, we got another one here. Virginia Tech going on the road to Virginia. This one, we know that Virginia Tech is 3-8. We are aware. Well, it is a rivalry game. They've got a boost of confidence with James Franklin, being announced as their quarterback. Sorry, I was looking at Kyron Jones as their head coach. They're 8.5-point dogs. Virginia is in must-win territory. There's a lot of pressure on this Virginia squad. It could be tight early. I still think Virginia's going to find a way with Taylor on the ground to really extend this here in the fourth quarter and get a win by at least by 10. So that's where I'm going as UVA.
I don't disagree at all, and I like where your head's at. However, I'm going to go with Kyron Jones and the Hokies to pull it out and destroy the UVA dreams and hopes and kill them.
I'm pulling something up real quick because in this rivalry, I'm trying to see who's won, the most of late.
That's good. Let me see here.
Sorry, forgive me while I type.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I love Virginia Tech. I really hope that, despite his bald, reflective head, I really hope that he can bring them back to a relevancy in the ACC at minimum. Nationally, I really hope that they get back to like a top 25 type of roster where they're really competing at the highest level of college football. Because whether no matter what you think about James Franklin, I think everybody, at least in our friend group, and most college football fans, truly just overall college football fans, we want to see Virginia Tech be good.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean,
to a certain degree. It makes football good.
I mean, I remember, as a Michigan fan, playing them in the Sugar Bowl in 2011 with Denard Robinson. That was such a fun game. The uniform matchup was great.
Yep.
The fan base is excited.
Yeah, Virginia Tech's fan base, Blacksburg, my goodness.
They deserve this.
Some of the best fans.
Yeah, and look, we know what James Franklin has done in the big games in the Big Ten. But you take that, he just got a flip from Penn State, on the recruiting trail to Virginia Tech. The momentum's there for them. We'll see what they do. And currently, they are on a 4-game winning streak.
What do you think? What do you think the odds are that they get an influx of Penn State players?
I'd say it's pretty high. I think they'll probably get, I'd say 4 or 5 maybe commits jumping it over from them, and maybe more. We'll see. But either way, let's talk on. You're taking Virginia Tech in the last game. We got to cover it. You can't not talk about rivalry week without talking about the greatest rivalry in sports.
In sports altogether, baby.
And that is Ohio State versus Michigan. Ohio State is going on the road. They're currently 9.5-point favorites. They opened as 11.5 points. The spread has shifted a little. But you got a freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who's kind of the last couple of weeks had some good moments. Even against Northwestern, he had some in the tight moment when he absolutely needed, threw a dart. He did have 2 picks that game. But you're hoping that you can lean on the run game if you're Michigan. Jordan Marshall's back. Cudzall showed that he can perform and had a 100-yard game against Maryland. Marsh has come on as wide receiver 1. McCauley's had moments. It's the defense for me for Michigan. If you're going to win this game, your defense has to stand up again. Houseman's ready. Rolder's back. Sullivan's there.
They have to sell out on defense. They just have to sell out on defense. And look, we already know that Jeremiah Smith is unshakable. The guy's been double and triple covered basically all season long.
Yeah.
So the person that you need to get shook is obviously Julian Sayin.
Yep.
You need to see how well he can take hits and how often he can take hits as often as possible, in my opinion. But obviously that's going to open yourself up in the back end. So it really is going to be, well, I guess a chess match, really.
Yeah, I think if you're Ohio State, now Smith was out last week with injury. Carnell Tate was out with injury. They don't know how they'll be back. I think the Tate injury is worse, supposedly, from what I've been reading from Buckeye Twitter. And they expect Jeremiah Smith to be back to maybe 80% healthy, 90%. But he said he's playing. And then, yeah, I mean, that's good. His
90% is most people's. Yeah, you're getting like 120% out of your receiver if you're doing 80% of Jeremiah Smith. My goodness.
And then Bo Jackson at running back for Ohio State's been coming on too. He's been playing
really well. Yeah.
So
he's going to be a dangerous back, but we'll see.
I think that it's going to be a slug match, a slugfest. I can see this going both ways. Julian Saint's just been playing so well, and you have to have for Michigan. I said Ohio State was going to win last year, and then craziness happened. This year, I still feel like Ohio State has the team that's going to win. But I don't know. I've just got a feeling that there's a mental factor still, and I'm going to go Michigan here. There might be snow. There's
Does that mean I have to pick Ohio State? Because I can't do that.
You do what you got to do.
I literally cannot do that.
Saint is playing so well. Their defense is stout, especially in the red zone.
All right.
You're going to rely on the run game from Michigan, and you have to get pressure from the edges. It can happen. It's going to be tight.
Look, there's a couple different factors here that are going on within this game. One, darn well Ohio State's going to want to stick the flag in the middle of the field.
Oh, absolutely.
Two, so that'll be extra motivation. That's happening. We have a true freshman quarterback. They have Julian Saint. I don't necessarily hate the way Underwood has played.
Yeah.
I just think that he hasn't. I think the coaches are just calling a very conservative game all year. So it's a mistake-free game that Michigan has to play.
They have to be perfect.
It's a mistake-free game that Michigan has to play. I don't know if they can do it. And I'm not confident that Sharon Moore will be aggressive enough for this game. That's my biggest thing. And I talked to Brendan about this, I think, I want to say a week or two ago, about me not being the biggest fan with how Sharon Moore has handled the situation. I get the first half of the season where you're kind of kid gloving it.
Yeah.
But the second half of the season, you literally should have had your OC bust out everything. Let's go with everything. Let's see how much he can handle.
Yeah.
Especially on the games where you're going to pretty much overpower the opponent. They never did that. I'm hoping that was there's a plan in place. With all that being said, I'm still picking Michigan, but I am cautiously. I would not pick I picked them in just about every other category, but I just can't stand Ohio State, and they can't stand me, so that's okay. But look, I don't know. Being at the big house, I feel like it's going to be an advantage, but I don't know. They're both northern teams, so they both can handle cold just fine.
Yeah, and this is a great point. They don't have that wrecker in the middle like they have the last couple of years. But again, last year, you had Donovan Warren throws for 60 yards and beats the eventual national champion. I think there is a mental thing here. And even without Justice Haynes, Michigan hasn't had him for weeks. Jordan Marshall's a hell of a back. He's proven himself time and again against Alabama last year in the bowl game as a true freshman. He's shown it this year of stepping up. He can hit the hole. He's strong.
They have a deep enough running back core where it shouldn't be an issue.
That core I'm not worried about. The offensive line has been gelling for the last few weeks with the young guys.
I believe they said, what's his name? God bless it. The wide receiver that was out for a couple weeks. Help me out. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Samaj
Morgan. Yeah. He's going to be back.
We'll see if he
cleared him. He doesn't have had a good season.
No, he hasn't. Watch him have like a moment though. I don't know. Logic says Ohio State, but when you look at this game, and it just how they got beat last year, and watching Ryan Day stand in the middle of the field silent and just like he looked shell-shocked. He looked like James Franklin after they lost to Oregon this year. Penn State.
They just
like
stand there like, lost in the sauce.
Maybe his brain is changed. I don't know, but we'll see.
Fine.
That's where we're at. All right, let's move on. Let's hit these bets and wrap it up for the night.
All right, here we go.
Trev, you got the graphic?
Oh, yeah, I got it. Hang on.
There she is in all the glory. Look, I'm taking Florida State here. We got a Florida State, fan here in the comments waiting for this one. He's probably like, "Oh God, you just cursed me." But no, I think Florida has just been such a trash shoot. Castellanos has those moments of even in advanced stats, he's dangerous when you look at some of the advanced stats. He has these dumb moments too. So I'm riding on some hope from him. It's going to be a tight game. I mean, the spread's 1.5, but I'm going late field goal win for Florida in the rivalry there. And then I think Oregon's they're gonna punch through Washington. And then I'm taking Clemson against South Carolina in that rivalry game there.
Risky.
It's risky, but I'm doing it. I know.
Talk about risky. Look at mine.
Yeah. I mean, you doubled down on Michigan.
On Michigan and Texas.
And Texas with the spread and the gridlock, the straight outright. So you better hope you're right, or there might be a lot of red there, baby. No diversification on it this week. But you're winning the spread battle right now at 3-1. Against the rest of the crew. Blake's down there. He's taking Arizona State over Arizona, Virginia Tech over Virginia, or at least in the spread column there. He thinks they can cover. And then he's taking wait, did I do that right? I think it's Vandy over Tennessee. I might have.
Did you do Vandy?
Yeah, let me pull up his message real quick because I might have screwed that up. But either way, that's our bets for the week, guys. And if I need to adjust the graphic, I will. And they'll be posted tomorrow for socials. Trev, it's going to be a hell of a week. I'm excited to see it. Your picks, if this shit goes down, chaos will ensue and erupt across college football.
Say a prayer, everybody. If that happens, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we appreciate you being in. Again, we kind of do a new format this week. If you like it, let us know. We're trying to, roll it that way from here on out.
Yeah. And again, also, go ahead. No, I was just today. Also, shoot Brendan a message, shoot myself a message on social media. If you guys want to know have us add topics to the next show about whatever.
Yeah.
Throw it out there to us. Throw it on Twitter. Throw it on Facebook. Throw it up on the YouTube channel. Any questions or topics you guys want to hear about? We want to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to talk about it, guys. So just holler at us, and we'll chat with you here in the comments. All of our ats are on the border here. You can check them out. Go check out our Substack, and we'll see you guys on Sunday after maybe a crazy weekend. We'll see how it plays out.
See you on Sunday, everybody.
Take care.